Freedom is defined as liberation from slavery or restraint from the power of another. After more than 400 years of slavery, and 2 years after the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation, the last enslaved people were freed in Galveston, Texas. That day, June 19, 1865, became known as Juneteenth, and the people from Texas took Juneteenth Day to Los Angeles, Oakland, Seattle, and other places they went. Today, Juneteenth, also known as Freedom Day, Jubilee Day, Liberation Day, and Emancipation Day, is a holiday celebrated annually throughout the United States. Traditionally, a range of activities were provided to the masses, many of which continue today. Rodeos, fishing, barbecuing, and baseball are just a few of the typical Juneteenth activities. Juneteenth almost always focused on education and self-improvement. Often, guest speakers are brought in and elders are called upon to recount events of the past. Prayer services are also a major part of these celebrations. 100 years later, in 1968, Juneteenth received another strong resurgence through the Poor People's March to Washington, D.C. Reverend Ralph Abernathy's call for people of all races, creeds, economic levels, and professions to come to Washington to show support for the poor. Many of these attendees returned home and initiated Juneteenth celebrations in areas previously absent of such activities. In fact, two of the largest Juneteenth celebrations founded after this march are now held in Milwaukee and Minneapolis. Despite the civil rights movement and the progress that has been made since then, people of color in the United States are still fighting for liberation. In 2015, Michael Brown was gunned down by police, accounting for one of 965 people of color that were killed by police that year. At that time, the Washington Post referred to 2015 as, quote, the year of reckoning. Now, in 2021, in the midst of what many are calling a racial reckoning, we understand that not enough has changed and there is still work to be done. Although free, people of color continue to fight many of the same battles from centuries ago. This year we celebrate 100 years since the Tulsa Massacre, and people of color are still fighting for healthcare equity, financial equality, social justice, and fair treatment from law enforcement. On Juneteenth, we honor heroes like Crispus Attucks, Frederick Douglass, Sojourner Truth, Marcus Garvey, Harriet Tubman, Henrietta Lacks, paving the way for names like Ayanna Pressley, Barack Obama, Stacey Abrams, and Raphael Warnock. America must continue to decide how the future will be for Black, brown, and indigenous people. It all starts with the famed words from John Albuquerque. He once said, "Let's make Juneteenth a commemorative, not of the horrific institution our country embraced, but rather as a showcase of the strength in the American spirit to recognize wrong and set about making it right." In the same spirit, America moves ahead today in leveling playing fields and achieving ever greater equality. Let us celebrate all that Juneteenth teaches us about our country's greatness and our use of the heart to hear and to learn and to work together for all that is good and just. Please join me, Tufts Medical Center, and the Wilforce community in acknowledging and celebrating Juneteenth.